Hi, rollers. You know, I guess I gotta start a poll right away. Good to see you, everyone. What should Ukrainians do? Keep it quiet and turn into Russia. And the second option, protest and protest and risk to lose. You see, the second one, yes, as you know they exist, says the massive protests turnout in Ukraine are potentially a weapon to be manipulated by the Kremlin, centralized mafia, and mind-controlled scientists. Kremlin wants Ukraine solidarity to fall into chaos. So, protest and risk to lose? Yeah, why? You think we're not gonna lose if we're gonna turn to Russia? Keep it quiet and turn into Russia, which is lose. Protest and risk to lose of dispute. I think of... Okay, I gotta get rid of the space there. Okay, guys, vote. What will you tell us Ukrainians to do? Should we protest or should we not? I think we Ukrainians know better and best anyway, but still, it would be interesting to see how you guys are perceiving this. Rick, have you actually read the new law? The problem is, you know, let's not listen to me, to stupid, manipulated, uninformed Rick, okay? Let's listen to the people who are really digging into this. First of all, it's Sternenko, and secondly, this is the Bigus Info, which is the Ukrainian journalist network, anti-corruption investigating network, very known and respected in Ukraine, with 1,160,000 views. So we're gonna watch their video and we're gonna watch Sternenko's video. Leftist Rick? Not so much. More like rightist. Okay, the door is opening and closing and the camera is following me. Stop following me. Копати помиральну яму. Я дана. That's it. There's no good outcome of this. Our parliament and government are just, you know, fucked us over big time, and today they went on almost 1 month break until the 20th dates of August. So for 4 weeks they went on a break, so they planned all of this just like this. So we in a month will, the heat, you know, the passion will calm down and they just can move on and forget about this shit and do whatever they want with our economy, with our country, with our rights. Okay, that's a loaded questionnaire. Exactly. But I see 18 people voted and every single one of them voted for us to protest. Some of you guys are of course not voted at all. I understand, because you won't like to vote into this provocative poll. It's understandable, but I don't care. The situation is this bad. You have a very transparent democracy. The agenda, proposals, and everything is open to the public. For now it is, and I'm very happy. Thank you. what is said in the Kyiv Independent does not match up with the facts. I'm not discussing Kyiv Independent at all, man. I'm not really, like, I did not read Kyiv Independent's article. I'm relying on different sources, and I don't care about what they said. Let's see what other media said. What NABU themselves said yesterday, for example, I told you. But we gotta look into the investigations against NABU and Tsapo, okay? Because yes, SBU caught some of them being agents. They have the evidence. This is why they indicted them, right? Given them the indictment. But it doesn't mean the whole institution is pro-Russian. And how all of it has been done is just pathetic. And we should also discuss this, how it's been done. So, my friends, my question is, why did 90% of the parliament vote for this? Because the parliament is corrupt. Unfortunately, that part of it, this percentage, it's hard to imagine, but not for Ukrainians. Believe me, we Ukrainians knew this all along. And you know, with politicians, it's very complicated, always. They may threaten you, they may intimidate you and your families, and they can do it to other deputies too. So all of this is easy to explain. Haji, thank you very much for 10 gifted memberships. Let's see if they work. If, yeah, at least first one was given. Okay, my friend. Let's go. Let's read. Let's begin with this. We have this beautiful tweet from Maria Kramarenko, who's very active on X, who's a Ukrainian, who is given 10 amazing points explaining what happened and why Ukrainians went on the protests yesterday, and not as fucking MTG said that we went there to make a peace deal. No shit, we don't need any fucking so-called peace deal with Russia. That shit is from MAGA Republicans, but you guys know that the real reasons. And let's read this. This is a very good explanation of everything. I agree with this statement, with this post 100%, and I thank Maria Kramarenko for posting it and for structurizing all of it. So I want you to hear this, guys, because I totally agree with this. This is one mistake that's been made in this post, and unfortunately I don't think Maria is capable of correcting it, because in the comments she was pointed out, someone pointed out, you see, ви напевно мали на увазі БЕБ, а не НАБУ тут. You probably meant BEB, Ukrainian Bureau of Economic Securities, yeah, like Bezpeka, security. So we have this Bureau of Economic Security, which is crippled for the few last years because they could not choose the head of that organization, and our parliament refused to make, but it's all written here. So let's begin with this, remembering that here, instead of NABU, it should be BEB. Everything else is correct. Let's go. A relatively short and simple explanation of why so many Ukrainians are outraged, as I see it. NABU and SAPO are anti-corruption bodies, the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine and the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, created to investigate and prosecute high-level corruption, and they are a part of the anti-corruption strategy that Ukraine has been pushing for 11 years. Focus on this, okay? Please, guys, listen with me, and yeah, let's go. Corruption is a core issue for Ukrainians. Yes, guys. We were outraged back in 2013 also because of Yanukovych's corruption, and not only his. First, not long ago, the head of NABU, which is BEB here, guys, the head of BEB, the Bureau of Economic Security of Ukraine, was not appointed despite the candidate successfully passing the competition and all stages of the selection process, right? They just illegally, which was said in the press. I'm not sure if it's illegal, but the Verkhovna Rada, our parliament, just declined the candidacy, but it's been despite it's been also approved by our European partners, and this was a pretty decent candidacy who was successfully passing the competition. Okay. Second, the law that was amended to charge NABU and SAPO's subordination to the Prosecutor General was originally about missing persons. You see, guys, the law that was amended yesterday to change NABU and SAPO's subordination to the Prosecutor General was originally about missing persons. Yesterday morning, those amendments were added in violation of the parliamentary procedure. Moreover, the author of the amendments is Buzhansky, Maxim Buzhansky. Remember his schmuck? Yesterday I've been showing it to you. Give me a second. I'll show it once again so you guys remember the face of the hero that we have these days. Okay, there he is, a pro-Russian Ukrainian MP who is openly refusing also to stand up when the minute of silence for the fallen heroes of the Heavenly Hundred is happening. So this man calls him anti-Maidan person. Okay, remember this. Let's go back to the tweet. So, the author of the amendments is Buzhansky, Maxim Buzhansky, a notorious pro-Russian MP and a friend of Kiva. Guys, remember Ilya Kiva, who went to Russia, the traitor of Ukraine, the bald fucker who was liquidated by the SBU back in 2024, I guess. Just come from Aziz's concert. Hello, Robert Jonesar. Did she finish already? Did she go to the protest already? I unfortunately could not come to the concert because I was going for groceries and then eaten a bit. This is why I'm late for the stream. I'm very sorry that I'm late. Thank you, Uriot, for that super sticker. The pie? Not the pie. The cake. The cake piece. I see it for the first time, by the way. 119 euro. I really appreciate it. Thank you. So, let's go. So, Kiva, may the ground be concrete for him. That's how she says, and I totally agree with this. Third, Ukrainians have never seen a law passed and signed so quickly by the speaker and the president, which is particularly frustrating, since critical laws about demobilization, veterans, and so on have been stuck for years without a vote. Guys, we have the laws that could not be passed there for 5 years, 6 years, and they are crucial for Ukrainian society, believe me. So this one was done in just a few hours. Well, actually, it took around, I would say, 12 hours to pass it yesterday, but like the full process. Anyway, this is a very important point here. Remember this. Fourth, the Prosecutor General's office and the judicial system and the structures that needed reform yesterday, but instead they are being granted even more powers. These are exactly the parts of the state apparatus that were needed reformed. In reality, no matter what reforms happen around them, if the prosecutors and courts are corrupt and dysfunctional, there is no rule of law. Exactly. That's one of the biggest problems, actually, we have in this. You see, the Prosecutor General's office and the judicial system are the structures that needed reform yesterday, but instead they are being granted even more powers. These are exactly the parts of the state apparatus that were never reformed. In reality, no matter what reforms happen around them, if the prosecutors and courts are corrupt and dysfunctional, there is no rule of law. And unfortunately, right now, they are corrupt and dysfunctional. Fifth, the situation escalated after the scandal involving Unity's deputy Unity's deputy, Prime Minister Chernyshov. So guys, we had this ministry created that was called the Ministry of Unity, and the head of it was the, what's the word here, the notorious minister, not prime minister, just Minister Chernyshov. Okay, NABU charged him with abuse of office and receiving an unlawful benefit in particularly large amounts. During the investigation, he was abroad, but returned to Ukraine. After that, the Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, reported that FSB agents had infiltrated NABU. Okay? 6. The FSB agents have been found in all Ukrainian institutions without exception, but never before has it triggered such rapid action from Parliament and the President. 7th, the communication has been a complete failure. What the President is doing now, gathering heads of agencies and announcing that there will be strategy and plan in 2 weeks, should have happened before the law was voted on. Right, guys? It should have happened before and not after. 8. Ukrainians are skeptical about such disproportionate actions, especially when it looks like a cover-up to protect friends from accountability. Chernyshov is a close friend of Yermak. You see? Very important point. 9th, Tatarov, a figure from the Yanukovych era who actively destroyed democratic institutions in Ukraine and voted for his dictatorial laws, is still working in the president's office. He should have been banned from public office through lustration, yet now he holds one of the highest positions in the country. Once again, guys, Tatarov was Yanukovych's dog who was destroying Ukrainian institutions. And he's still in power, and she actually holds one of the highest positions in the country. 10th, Ukrainians genuinely want everyone to be equal before the law, but if anti-corruption bodies and subordinated to the most corrupt institutions in Ukraine, there's no hope that true equality before the law will ever exist. In my humble opinion, the prosecutional and judicial system must be reformed right here and now. Otherwise, nothing else will work. And I totally agree with this. The problem is not with NABU and SAPO, guys. The big, real problem that our state, our government is not talking about is our judiciary and prosecutional system. And they must be reformed here and now. I agree with this 100%. I was mentioning it before, guys. And, well, I think it's totally fine. So that's the explanation. This is why we're protesting. This is why we're so outraged. Because all of these 10 points were either done or they are a fact. And no one is talking about this in the government. They just try to not divide, but how do you call this? Deceive us with some other topics, with some other narratives. So in my opinion, the Russian influences in NABU is just a great, perfect deception narrative that leads us far away from the core and the real reasons of doing all of this. But as my sign says here, громадяни не тупі. Ми бачимо вас наскрізь. The citizens are not dumb. We see right through you. It's still in the making, guys. You see, I still need to use the marker. I did not have enough time to create this one before the stream, but for fuck's sake, we are not dumb. The citizens are not dumb. And the citizens, considering all these 10 points, and not only them, we'll talk about more in a bit, guys. on this stream, I want to show you the video where it is explained what kind of searches without any warrants and what kind of indictments were given to NABU and SAPO members and how many of them were given, you know, because our government is really, really good in creating the needed picture, you know, in discrediting people and institutions by making fake searches, or just not fake but empty searches, you know, search just for the picture, just for the media, and it's very convenient, you know. Let me thank you guys for the amazing support you give me in the chat. Robert Jonassar, thank you for 20 gifted memberships. Cass, thank you for 5 gifted memberships. Josh Erhardt, thank you for $10 super chat. Slava Ukraini, Heroям Slava, and so many Ukrainian flags there. Wow, that's cool. Just like on the protest. Paul Godeberitz, thank you for 10 gifted memberships. I really appreciate it. And I think this is a very complex issue, so I don't have a solid opinion on the one way or another, but I'm glad it's at the very least being discussed. Yeah, it's good. Freedom of speech is so important. Exactly. And let's hope it's not going to be attacked in this matter, because they may start shutting the Ukrainians down, though until it's not happening. Yeah, there's like no point to talk about it. If Ukraine has internal mafia that will preserve Ukraine, you need to accept much of the problem for now rather than allow Kremlin to form more and more chaos. Reform during war is risky. You know they exist. So you, if I'm not mistaken, an American, right? So is this what you're doing? You're letting those that mafia turn your country into something because it's dangerous to... I know the situation is totally different. I apologize. This was like a sucker. I don't know how to call it. If you are correct in the government being corrupt, you will lose the support from other governments. Paul Deberitz, the problem is there's no good outcome of this. We can keep lying about you know, everything that is happening in our government, or just keep it quiet, and we turn into the second Russia in a few years. And you can vote for this in the poll. Guys, please vote in the poll. Only 43 of you voted, but 72 people watching. Let's make at least 50 people vote there. Yes, it's a hard choice, but we are in a fuck-up situation that is like, there's no good way out of it. And it's not us who did this. It's our parliament and the government who did this yesterday, who did this to us. If you want to blame Ukrainian people for what our government did yesterday, then you are delusional and you are very wrong, okay? I actually can use such words today. Usually I'm not such an, you know, like opinionate person. But anyway, let me thank the 2 people who donated just now. $20 from Pyra Slava Ukraini. Pyra needs 2 tickets for the great flag. Thank you very much, my friend. And Kathy S, $20. Stay strong, keep fighting, we support you. Tickets, please. Thank you so much. So guys, $40 raised. Let's see if we can raise $500 today. This stream is going to be going only for the next hour and 20 minutes, so we don't have that much time. But I think we still have a chance to raise that amount today too. And you know, guys, I actually have the new fundraiser to show you. Give me a second. It's mud tires for the 92nd Brigade. So we got them the truck just 2 weeks ago. We raised funds. They found the truck. They're in the process of buying it right now. And what else? Mud tires. They now need mud tires. And unfortunately, they are very expensive. They need the good ones. And one is 13, almost 14,000. So 47,000 divided by 4, 11, actually 11 0.75 thousand. So 11,750 for one tire. I checked. It is really the price. And it's the lowest price that me and Serhiy could find on the market, unfortunately. So yeah, that's what we need to raise for this week. So this is why I'm making an extra effort to raise just another $1,000 more this week. So this is why let's reach 500 today too. Okay, thank you. So my friends, what do we have here? I need to put the progress bar on the screen instead of the one that we already closed, the net gun for 65th Brigade, right? Yep, yeah. So I now need to change it for the new one. Okay, great. Mud tires for 90 seconds. So see guys, we at least need to close. Give me a second. I need to give something. Okay. Stop it. Stop it. Camera. Just give me a second. Yep. Good. Yeah, it's not only me who is making the sign, and I took the markers with me, so I needed to give it back. Brian R., thank you very much. $100 super... No, not super chat. Oh my god. Hey, Robert Jones, sir, thank you very much for $9,000 hryvnias donation on the base. Thank you very much for that. Brian R., thank you for $100 donation on PayPal. Flag raffle tickets, half for me and half for rollers. Thank you, Rick, for all that you do for this community. Thank you very much, my friend. It's actually... You guys do more for this community than I do, okay? So, in my opinion, you are amazing. And you do even more for our army. Thank you for that. So guys, $140 raised. Can we raise 360 more? What do you think? Okay. I saw a super sticker from Uriot. Uriot, thank you very much for that super sticker. 48 people voted. Guys, can we get it to 55? And Brian R. was saying, thank you, Rick, for explaining this law in more detail. It is difficult for those unfamiliar with how the Ukrainian government functions or doesn't. Each government is different. Yeah, I understand. I'm really happy that I'm clearing something up, and you guys have more understanding. But we're going to have more understanding. Okay, this is there is one very important video, okay? But there's also a very important stream. You see, guys, what is happening right now is distracting us a lot, Ukrainians. It's distracting us from helping the army. It's distracting us on focusing on the daily tasks. Like today, instead of doing what I was doing, I could have just making a fundraiser report for you. For example, Karfo Colucci, he sent me the video, but I did not have the time to work on this. You see, there's a problem. But there's this stream of Aziza Iskender. I want to send this link to the chat. Hey, it's Monobank. No, it's another link. Let me delete this one. I did not copy the right link. Removed? Yes, good. Okay, so here's the link. Please, guys, if you have the time on Friday, even if you don't have the time on Friday, you can watch the recording, but there's going to be a stream concert of Aziza Iskender this Friday, and all of this shit is also distracting me from promoting it enough, okay? So we really need to work on what? On pressing the bell button, okay? Please do it, guys. Please join the concert on Friday, 7 p.m. Ukrainian time, and get the unforgettable experience of Aziza singing with a great quality of Lynette production, and the 2 or 3 cameras are showing us. It's going to be fantastic. Just like the first time. Remember, August 2024. All of those of you who did not miss that concert understand what I'm talking about. Understand how good it's going to be. So please do this. You see, Paul, the problem is they are not intentionally making me angry. My government is doing the shit that will make Ukrainian people angry, not because they want to make us angry. Believe me, this is the least they want, but they want to just hide the crimes of their friends and of themselves too, by attacking our anti-corruption institutions. So, guys, you see, this is just a very convenient moment for them, because we Ukrainians right now, our hands are tied with the war. You see, we also understand that it will damage us, but let's listen to Starenko. I want to translate the stream that he had today for you guys. And I was doing it before, you know that it's not going to take long, but not going to take a little time also, because there is a problem that, it's only 26 minutes, but still. But it perfectly describes everything. He's very good at this, at describing the current crises and problems, and he did a great job in this stream. He's always very structured, not like I am. He's always talking only about the important stuff, about the points, and of course, he's raising funds for Rusoris, which is his teams and funds initiative for the FPV drones for Ukrainian army, and anti-Shahid drones, anti-reconnaissance drones, FPV drones, you know, all of that. All of that is very important. Okay, guys, I'm not engaging with the chat too much because there are a lot of things I wanted to show and tell you today. Let's go. You know what? Before that, I want to translate, not translate, but read another thread for you. So in Twitter, I saw this thread from Agent Miller. We are protesting against the recent law. Yesterday we called our president to not sign it. Today we're calling our MPs to cancel it. Okay? Let's go and see the next posts, messages in the thread. This law creates an imbalance of power, takes away the independence of anti-corruption agencies, and gives the unlimited authority to the general prosecutor. Okay? We're pissed at our MPs because it took one day to pass this bill with the recent controversial amendments, while it takes literally years and multiple revisions to pass many vital bills. Okay? Important point. We're pissed at our president for signing it, while people were gathering under the presidential office calling him to not sign it. The law threatens our further integration into EU, will negatively impact the international investments in Ukraine. Now, for some offended Western supporters, please come to terms with the fact that people in Ukraine are pro-Ukraine, not pro-Zelensky. Are pro-Ukraine, not pro-Zelensky, not pro-Nabu, Saab, pro-Ukraine. Very important point, guys. We're pro-Ukraine, first of all. Let's go. We care about our country, not personalities. We judge actions and not job done. And job done, not personalities. When our government does its job shitty, it gets called out and criticized no matter what they are, who they are. No one is untouchable. You see, guys, it's not about the personalities, it's about the actions. No, it's not about being pro someone or anti someone. It's about someone's actions. And if you can't differentiate actions and personality, get psychological help and grow up. Now, thank you to all the Ukraine supporters who keep their shit together and supports our struggle by donating, listening to us, and fighting MTG and other lunatics instead of Ukrainians. I see you. You're the best. And I see you guys. Thank you for that. You're the best. The self-proclaimed Western experts on Ukrainian internal politics, shut the fuck up. You're not helping. I like this last one. So it's a pretty awesome thread that I recommend. And yes, this is the number of the law, number 12414, and that amendment did not even concern that law. That amendment that concerns NABU and SAPO was implemented into the law that concerns the missing people. It's just crazy how they did this yesterday. And you see, today is the first day of 4-week vacation for our parliament, so it was done exactly yesterday for a reason, because this was the last day of work of the parliament, so they also want to tie the hands of the civilian society with this, with the fact that they are now just resting somewhere, and a lot of them, I'm sure, abroad. The MPs, I mean, because they have the right to go abroad. Okay, what am I forgetting to notice in the chat? Nothing. I thanked everyone, and guys, I think gifted memberships still work if you, if still of you want to support me with them. I'll appreciate it until we break it. Then I'll just say no problem. Today I'm not even gonna be upset about this, like yesterday. Yeah, Ursula von der Leyen responded today, and we definitely need to mention it. Let me do it real quick. I have the news saved here. There is her reaction. Let's Euronews.com. Agree and close. Okay. Von der Leyen calls Zelensky and asks him to explain new anti-corruption law. Ursula von der Leyen has called Volodymyr Zelensky to express her strong concerns and demand explanations over a new law that weakens the independence of two of Ukraine's anti-corruption agencies. So guys, those who say we're being manipulated, Ursula von der Leyen seems to be manipulated too, right? If she calls Zelensky and demands or asks for what? For explanation, right? Let me read all of it. So, the independence of two anti-corruption agencies, the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine, NABU, and Special Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, SAPO, under the legislation approved by the Ukrainian Parliament on Tuesday and signed by Zelensky hours later, the two agencies are brought under the direct oversight of the Prosecutor General, who is a political appointee. Exactly, that's the problem, guys. He was appointed by Zelensky, this General Prosecutor. He was not chosen by anyone. The Prosecutor General will be allowed to select cases handled by NABU and SAPO and reassign them to other state entities, which critics say risks empowering the executive branch to sway investigations, particularly high-profile ones. President von der Leyen conveyed her strong concerns about the consequences of the amendments, and she requested the Ukrainian government for explanations. A commission spokesperson said on Wednesday, "The respect for the rule of law and the fight against corruption are core elements of the European Union. As a candidate country, Ukraine is expected to uphold these standards fully. There cannot be a compromise." You see, there cannot be a compromise. And yeah, so you want to tell me that Sweden, Netherlands, who also are very concerned today, and they made public statements today. So they are also being manipulated. By whom? By Kremlin? By... I want explanation. So, and it's not like she is asking what's going on, Paul. She is telling that they have great concerns of the recent law. When they say that, they imply that this is a shitty law that is actually making them not independent. You see? It's not like they will just be silent if if it was a serious situation. David Elston, I don't know the question about Trump, and unfortunately don't have the time to read it out loud. I need to work on the on the video translation for you. So, my friends, we raised $140 and stopped. The fundraising stopped 14 minutes ago. If you can donate today and get the tickets for the beautiful flag behind me, this flag is from the 3rd Assault Brigade. On that side, you can see the hidden logo of the 3rd Assault Brigade. On this side, the logo of their UAV battalion. Fuck. Stop doing this, camera. There are, of course, skeletons there, cool Ukrainian soldier skeletons. There's a vampire drone, there's a Mavic drone, FPV drone, and the reconnaissance Ukrainian plane reconnaissance, just like Leleka or Shark. You've probably heard of those. Okay, I need to unzoom myself because it's too much zoom. Too much zoom. Okay, that's better. Good. Okay, so guys, please buy the tickets. Please donate because the fundraising, the army needs are growing just bigger. That's the problem. While we're being distracted with outrageous actions of our government, the army needs are not becoming smaller, lesser, and they just grow, and they need us. The guys need us. I talked to Psycho today, and he says that they have some losses. Some guys have been killed, and he was almost killed by an FPV drone 2 times yesterday. He was driving, and one of them was hunting him, the fiber optics FPV drone, and another one was lying on the road just waiting for him, but the battery in it died, and the drone did not fly up, and he just he passed that drone. So if he was not that lucky, we could not already have Psycho with us, but he's a lucky bastard, and he is always testing that luck, and unfortunately luck is not infinite and it can run out. So fuck, Psycho, stop caring about your life. You know, his call sign is Psycho for a reason, and now you can see why. He's just acting. It's not only about him, you know, it's also about the fact that it is super dangerous on the front line. It is like he says that all of those were fiber optic drones. Can you imagine how many drones are there that Psycho alone was almost hit 2 times yesterday? Can you imagine? It's just crazy. And you see, we have an extra fundraiser today, 47,000. In addition to our main fundraiser for 500,000 hryvnias. So I really need your donations. And another, unfortunately, not such a good news is that our NAF Truck Fundraiser, oh nice, 400 euro donation. Almost 400 received, I guess, in the last few hours, because before that it was 39,729 or something euros. Right now you can see 40,123. So it moved, but the problem is it was stuck for the last 2 days. We got only like 700 euros for the last 48 hours. So this campaign, guys, I forgot to show it to you on the stream today, but on the videos that you have seen yesterday, I've shown you the embroidered patches already. So this Baby Yoda looks, this Grogu looks more like Yoda since he became old when embroidered. Can you see this? It's pretty cool. And to be honest, all the patches went out pretty well. Like embroidered, I thought this one is gonna look pathetic when it's gonna be embroidered, but look, it still looks pretty decent, and I really like it. So these are the patches you can get for donating 100 euros to this campaign, guys. The link to this campaign is the first one in the description of this stream. And the Patriot patch, the third one you can get, and look how beautiful it is. The colors are just amazing. So, guys, these 3 could be yours with some some big money, I would say. 300 euros is not a small money. But I think a lot of you can do this. So please donate to this campaign. Let's make the last push, the last 24,000 for the last truck, for the drone bus actually, and for the Mavic 3T drone. Yes, it's going to be not easy, and I think it's with the same pace, it's going to take us a month to close this one, but what can I say? We, as you can see, are where we are, but we're still doing a good job. Like, for the community of our size, I must say we're doing a good job, but the problem is soldiers need it for yesterday. You know how it works in this war. Well, the intention is to speed up cases and also be able to move them to where the victims or their families now live, not where the crime occurred. Are you talking about this, the excuse to pass that bill that fast? That's bullshit. Total bullshit. Every conscious Ukrainian will tell you this. You see, we, the citizens, are not dumb, and we can see right through them, okay? And it's not only me. Let's listen to Sternenko finally, okay? 26 minutes video, which I'm gonna translate pretty quickly, I guess. Let's do it.
Вітаю вас, друзі.
Greetings, friends.
Всім доброго дня.
Good day, everyone.
Якщо його можна називати
If
добрим після
it can be called good after yesterday's events, I think we, you and
Я думаю, ви розумієте, про що ми
I
сьогодні.
think you understand what we will be talking about to date. We will talk about the elimination of the independence of the National Anti-Corruption Bureau and the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office. This is, beyond doubt, a black day in our history. It is a situation that divides Ukrainians and the government, which creates artificial internal confrontation. Exactly, Sternenko, exactly. You're a great interpreter. Thank you very much for the compliment, Duncan. Within the country, which no one needs at the moment, since internal confrontation within Ukraine only benefits the Russian Federation. The saddest thing is that this wave of internal confrontation was provoked by the authorities themselves yesterday. Let's talk about everything in order today. But first, I will tell you about the most important thing. Of course, the most important thing now is our army. This is the front, and we all have to help the army. That's why there's a link to the jar in the description of this video. Take it, please, and put it on the current Rusaris. No, he didn't say this. He said a bit different thing. Give me a second. I got messaged by some soldier, I guess. That's not a soldier. That's a volunteer. Привіт, друже. Зараз стрімлю, тому не зможу відповісти, але пиши і залюбки тобі відповім пізніше. Радий, що ти написав. Yeah, so guys, I remind you, still don't have any donations for the last 23 minutes. If we can fix that and send anything you can, $1, $5, $10 to my PayPal. If each of you who watching the stream, because I'm not watching it, I'm doing it. Each of you who is watching the stream will donate just $10 right now. Will easily get to the goal, and the goal is still $360 from this point. We already raised 140 to get the 500, 360 more. Thank you guys. Let me continue. So yeah, throw in some money for Rusaris. So there's also this QR code that you can see on the screen. Help our military get more drones to destroy the Russians, to destroy their equipment, to destroy their logistics, drones to protect our skies, both from reconnaissance drones and from Shahid drones. Tomorrow we plan to purchase an additional 10 or 20, depending on how much money we raise, interceptors of Shaheeds, and here we need your help. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm gonna send you the link to Sternenko's video, to this video that I'm narrating currently, and you guys, please... Sorry, I'm checking the deleted message. Just added another patch to the Rollers Fund Rollers Fund. Thank you, Robert John Sar. Love you, man. Love you, everyone, guys. Not like every single one of you. Not only those who are donating, but those who are always here listening. And even if you don't have the means to donate, you can always help with a like, comment, with the share of the video. It all is just amazing and very helpful, so please keep supporting with any way you can. Thank you. Okay, subscribe to his channel, guys, if you haven't yet. This mood... Okay, he says... My mood is not very good, to be honest. Just like yours. Yeah, today I woke up in a shitty mood after like what I saw in the night, that Zelensky actually made a statement in which he gave the excuses for this outrage, and they are just ridiculous. So, you know, especially the phrase "Справедливості має стати більше." There should be more of justice. You see? There's definitely going to be more justice with this shit. So when you see such populistic phrase there, to me a pretty like empathetic and deeply feeling others' intentions person, it is totally obvious what it really is. Okay, let's go, guys. So, what happened yesterday? Yesterday, the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine adopted the infamous amendments to eliminate the independence of the SAP and NABU. I won't go into details now. Anyone who wanted to familiarize themselves with it yesterday. I will just say very briefly that under the new law, because it was signed by the President of Ukraine, it is a law. Under the new law, the Prosecutor General of Ukraine can now remove absolutely any criminal proceedings from the National Anti-Corruption Bureau, can change the composition of prosecutors, can change the scope of investigation, that is, can take any criminal proceedings from the National Anti-Corruption Bureau to other law enforcement agencies in Ukraine. Similarly, the Prosecutor General now receives the authority to close any criminal proceedings, and of course, this puts the independence of these anti-corruption bodies under serious question. It puts the independence of these anti-corruption institutions under a serious question. And I just need to mention $130 donation from Andreas Lech. Ukrainians are much closer to their internal daily politics. Thank you, Rick, for providing what you see and putting it into context of Ukrainian history with authorities. Authorities. With authorities. Thank you. Thank you very much, my friend. So, guys, we raised $170. 330 more to raise if we can. If we cannot, I'm going to be a bit sad, but it is what it is. But if we can do it, guys, please, let's do it. 330 more to raise. Let's go. This is very bad for our country, and not only because it concerns combating corruption there. Corruption is one of the biggest enemies of our state after the Russians or together with the Russians. Well, this also applies to the despair and demoralization of Ukrainian society. Therefore, it is extremely dangerous. Our European and non-European partners have already reacted. The G7 opposed it. G7 representatives of the European Union also condemned yesterday's vote in the Verkhovna Rada and said that it does not bring us closer to the European Union. This does not mean that the European Union will stop supporting us because they have no choice in the grand scheme of things. If Ukraine cannot stand it, then war will come to the European Union very quickly. But of course, now it will be extremely difficult to convince European taxpayers of the need to provide, including financial assistance to Ukraine. And this, of course, adds additional unnecessary arguments to Ukraine's opponents in Europe. As for the United States of America, I'm gonna hydrate my throat because it starts aching a bit because I'm talking this much. Guys, about my COVID, my throat is almost not hurting, only like 5% of what I had. So it's really good news. Rick, Zelensky just put out his address for today. He talks about this. Might be worth checking out. Kenty, I am 99% sure he's just gonna give more excuses and not gonna listen to the people. He says, we hear the people, but we're gonna do the opposite. You see, the problem is they right now are just trying to kind of deceive both our society and societies around the world, and just walk them away from the real things and just so right now we gotta focus on Sternenko. For me, he is right now more important than another explanation of Zelensky of how they're gonna do it, but they're not actually gonna do it, guys. All of this that they are doing right now, with what they are saying right now, is meant for only one reason: to calm down the society and just forget about this in a month or maybe even faster. They're hoping for 2 weeks because he appointed the meeting of all the law enforcement leaders in 2 weeks, and they will come up with a plan. We heard this bullshit throughout the last 3.5 years too many times to fall for it, okay? We Ukrainian citizens have more experience than you guys do with this. So, Kenty, I'm not offended, not burned by your excuse. I'm just, how do you call this thing? By your statement or the call to action. I'm just explaining how it works in Ukraine and what, in my opinion, the government and the president are doing right now. The tweet that I read in the beginning explained everything perfectly, guys. Maria Kramarenko, the Ukrainian on Twitter who is constantly active and very good in structuring things, explained it perfectly. So here it is, the tweet. I've just sent it in the chat. If you missed the beginning of the stream, please check that tweet out. It is just fantastic. It explains everything perfectly, why Ukrainians are angry, why Ukrainians are protesting, and why Ukrainians don't really believe the bullshit that we're being fed, okay? Need to listen to the both sides. I'm listening to him. I listened to his address yesterday. I've read his address today. And Linda, I will 100% play and listen to his address today, where he is talking about this, but I'm just 95% sure he is not giving the society what we need, what we demand. He's just telling that, don't worry, what we have for you is amazing, is the best. What we have for you is paradise and utopia, but yes, I'm always listening to him, guys. I'm agreeing, I like to listen to him less and less for the last year, okay? But I still go and listen to him every day. Sometimes it's with such a face, look. Yeah, but sometimes, yeah, but I still do and listen to it every day because it's important to know what he's saying. And it is important to know what is the agenda of our government. Rome, watch the stream from the beginning. Rome was saying, Rome here? What amendment? Oh, Rome, you missed the most heated days in the modern Ukrainian political history, I think. The civil society is in rage, but let's go and translate more. As for the United States of America, we have not yet seen their reaction at the official level. I think there is unlikely to be a reaction because Trump is not interested. Trump doesn't care about combating corruption at all. I will remind you that during his election, Elon Musk engaged in direct voter bribery, and Trump doesn't care about either Naboo or Sapo at all. But the daughter of Kit Kellogg, Trump's special representative, wrote that it was a stunningly stupid decision. Kellogg's daughter said that. At the same time, opponents of aid to Ukraine within the United States of America also received additional arguments that they will use and already using, for example, the American analog of Ilya Kiva, MGT, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman. She already wrote that Ukrainians there came out against Zelensky. She didn't even mention, of course, the Naboo or Sapo. So I came... What? Що він сказав? What did he say?
Українці вийшли проти Зеленського, не згадала, звісно, навіть про НАБУ і САП. От я прийшов, послав її на 3 літери.
So I came, I sent her... so he came there and told her to go fuck herself. Yeah, послав на 3 літери. Under that tweet and said that we'll figure out ourselves somehow, because that's how it is and that's how it will be. We will figure it out ourselves, regardless of what some devils are barking. Чорти, guys, the devils. Imps, чорти. Regardless what some чорти are barking at who are against Ukraine. Although, of course, yesterday's situation gave them additional arguments. Let's start with the chronology, friends. What happened? First, the Security Service of Ukraine conducted a series of searches and detentions among Naboo detectives. And some of these detectives and the heads of their structural departments of the Naboo were accused of treason and collaboration with the Russian Federation. And that's right. Yes, I totally agree with this. Yes, that is, we must punish any and every traitor to Ukraine, regardless of what structure he works in and what state position he holds. There should be no exceptions to this. Whether it's an Naboo detective, an employee of the National Police, or an employee of the SBU, it doesn't matter. If you work for the enemy, you have to answer for it. At the same time, I have to explain my attitude towards Naboo and the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office. These bodies have not demonstrated the high efficiency that was expected of them, including me, he says. I expected a lot from them. Due to both subjective and objective factors. There were many moments when their work was blocked. There were cases when criminal proceedings were forcibly taken away from them. There were cases when there were conflicts between the Sapo and Naboo. For example, detectives of the Naboo at a time when Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office was headed by Nazar Kholodnitsky, they installed a wire trap in his aquarium in his office and proved that he was engaged in, to put it mildly, activities incompatible with the fight against corruption. That is, I don't always like the Naboo and Sapo, that is true. But does this mean that NABU and SAP should be turned into completely dependent bodies? Of course not. Does the fact that Russian agents were discovered in the structure of the NABU mean that the NABU structure there should be changed and cease to be independent? Of course not. Two, because it has absolutely nothing to do with fighting Russian agents. Exactly. It has nothing to do with this. There was a Russian FSB agent in the ranks of SBU. Why should not we reform or like destroy and rebuild SBU, guys? What the fuck? Let's go. Again, we need to identify and punish Russian agents everywhere, but this will deprive the institution of its independence because it has become dependent. Now, coming from the Attorney General, this is absolutely wrong. And even if there is a question of reforming the NABU in the Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, which we can talk about, it clearly should not happen in the way it was done yesterday. I'll remind you how it was done in the Verkhovna Rada, to a bill concerning missing person when suddenly, in the morning, amendments were made in violation of the rules and procedure, and these amendments actually provided for changes in the legislation regarding the SAPO and NABU. Again, the bill on missing persons. This is not the form in which reform should take place. Guys, just notice the form, how they did this. The reason can be different, and we kind of see the real reason here, but just let's not talk even about the reason right now. Let's talk about how they did it, the form. Fuck, camera, stop doing this. Yeah, and let's focus on this, but let's listen to Sternenko and let me keep translating him. Well, if we have to reform the SAPO and NABU, let's have a public discussion. Let's follow the procedure and put this in a separate bill. Let it pass the first or second reading in the Verkhovna Rada, and then it will, well, look much more significant than what we saw yesterday. Second point, the author of this scandalous edit was Maxim Buzhansky. If we are fighting against Russian influence and these changes in the law were necessary to neutralize Russian influence, then I do not understand how the leader of this fight can be a supporter of Russia, Maxim Buzhansky. Maxim Buzhansky is a majoritarian people's deputy from the Servant of the People party, who was not yet been expelled from the party, and who both, before being elected as a people's deputy, and now does not hide his sympathies for everything Russian. He called himself an anti-Maidanist. When the Verkhovna Rada held a moment of silence to honor the heroes of the Heavenly Hundred, he refused to stand up for show. He continues to drone for Victory Day, for Pushkin, for Russian monuments, the Russian language, and so on. That is, this is a vile anti-Ukrainian monster who should not be sitting in Verkhovna Rada and writing bills, but sitting in prison, no options. By the way, he was also a friend of Ilya Kiva and probably a brother in spirit. If you don't remember who Ilya Kiva is one of the biggest traitors of Ukraine who fled to Russia and was spreading bullshit propaganda both before that and after that, and he was liquidated by the SBU somewhere near Moscow last year, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe in 2023. Let's go. If we are once again talking about the need to cleanse NABU of Russian influence, and for this, these changes to the law were necessary, then let's follow the procedure and not submit these amendments because of the pro-Russian chort. Remember the word chort that I taught you yesterday. Imp. Yeah, chorty. Chort equals imp. So, through submit, then let's not submit these amendments through the pro-Russian chort. In addition, if we put the question this way, it is a mystery to me how the pro-Russian chorty from the OPZZ could vote against Russian influence. You see, guys, because some of the votes, along with the servants of the people, almost all, but not all, were cast by OPZZ representatives. You see, guys, we have this pro-Russian party still active in Ukraine, about 18 pro-Russian deputies, openly pro-Russian. They are not even hiding it. They also voted against the so-called presumptuous anti-Russian influence bill. Here I have to take this opportunity to say, friends, that the one who will not donate to Russian revolution, no, not revolution, what? Russaries. Those who will not donate to Russaries is Maxim Buzhansky. If you are not Maxim Buzhansky, just take it and throw it into the Russian cutter right now. Russaries is a Russian cutter. Guys, we have this thing that we did not get any donations except for one for the last 45 minutes. So, my friends, please send your donations to my PayPal. It would be awesome to raise $330 more because Ukrainian army have the same needs as the day before yesterday, before this shitstorm started here. In the rear, the front needs our help. The front is very vulnerable without this help. And I remind you that with your donations, you are saving lives. Yes, we are right now focused on this shit, but it was yesterday and today. And at the same time, I need to keep being focused on, on the army at the same time. And I am focused. I keep raising funds. And please help me this, because there's no point for me in raising funds if I won't raise funds in the end, okay? If I will do it but not succeed, right? So please let me have my purpose fulfilled, okay? Because my purpose is not only giving you the news and explaining all of this and translating, it's also raising funds for Ukrainian army. And I think this is even more important than my other functions. Raising funds for Ukrainian army is something that, like, literally can contribute to saving lives of the soldiers. So, yeah, guys, please donate. I got 44 cents just now from Slava Ukraini, Big Jim. He says, it's all I have left right now. Thank you so much, my friend. You know, these donations, when people give the rest they have, and you can really tell that's all they have at the moment. They really are touching the heart, and right now I'm touched. Thank you, my friend. So, like, you understand what I'm talking about. And I know that some of you guys who are listening today, who maybe don't have the means after yesterday to donate, but still can find the spare $5-10 and get us closer to the goal. So please, friends, be led by example of Big Jim, who donated 44 cents right now, the last money he had. Thanks, man. Really. I really appreciate it. Slava Ukraini, you can share the video. It can also help. What video are you talking about? Okay, so guys, still the same $330 to raise if we go like with even numbers. We have 170 right now. Okay, let me continue translating. Okay, the details are in the QR code. But please support the Ukrainian army, because no matter what happens here, no matter what the news is, the Russians continue to invade our land, kill our people every day, and they must be destroyed. This is the priority number one. Now, please help the army. Starenko is in a very bad mood. You can tell by how he was doing the stream today. It's also demoralizing him, just like all the rest of Ukrainians. It's just terrible, and he understands this, and he's talking about this here. Now about why people went to protest. As you know, yesterday in Kyiv, there was, well, a fairly massive protest for wartime. Protests also took place in Lviv, Dnipro, and Odessa, Vinnytsia, Poltava. I apologize if I forgot some other cities, Starenko says. Protests are also scheduled to take place today in several cities in Ukraine. Yes, guys, I'm going to show you the schedule. Tune. Andres, if you guys can go to the protest in Lviv today too, it's the same place at either 7:30, so 1 minute ago, or at 8. Give me a second. No, Lviv 19:30, so it started 1 minute ago, but it's gonna go for a few hours, so if you guys can join the protest, please join it. If you guys are in Kyiv, it's going to happen at 8 p.m., so in 29 minutes, but I'm going to go there and going to be a bit late. I was late for like 1 hour yesterday, and there was still a few thousand of people there. It is pretty cool. Let's go, guys. And we need to understand why people left. Not left, but пішли туди, went. Why people went. I see that some government officials think that they went there because, I don't know, they were paid, or some political forces brought them out. In short, they are looking for some conspiracy theory to explain it. People came out to protest for the first time during a full-scale invasion. War, because they saw injustice, because they saw that no one cared about their opinion. Exactly. That's why we went to the protest. Because we felt the injustice. We felt that, like, no one cares about our opinion. And this is not how it should happen in the democratic country. We call ourselves the flagship of freedom and democracy in the world right now. And this is why we went. Because we felt like the deputies, the president, all the government doesn't give a shit about us. We felt they don't care about our opinion. Because they saw that what we are fighting for and what distinguishes us from Russia is being destroyed. Ukrainians went to protests because this is a manifestation of democracy. Because it is precisely for our ability to protest, fight for our future, and determine our own future that Russians hate us. The Russians attacked us because we don't want to be Russians. That Russians attacked us because we want to live in a free, independent country in which we will determine the rules by which this country will live. And yesterday it was crossed out by the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine, which absolutely did not care about public opinion. He said did not give a shit, actually. And the reaction of citizens. The reaction of citizens yesterday was, this is a very big indignation, an absolutely fair indignation. What indignation is? Обурення. Indignation? Let me translate it, actually. Is it an обурення or... Indignation. Обурення, yes, guys. This is the perfect word. Yes, this was a huge indignation yesterday. The reaction of citizens yesterday was this is a very big indignation, an absolutely fair indignation. And if our disrespectful people's deputies had an instinct for self-preservation, they would listen to the opinion of the citizens of Ukraine and not vote for this. But nevertheless, the bill was voted on anyway, and unfortunately, the president of Ukraine signed it at night on the same day. That is, in just one day. There was a total demount of independence of specialized anti-corruption prosecutor's office and the National Anti-Corruption Bureau. It was effectively dismantled in just one day. And this is a very bad signal. It's too bad that the authorities didn't hear the signal from society. It's very bad that Ukrainians are forced to protest. Protests during war are very dangerous phenomenon. This is a phenomenon that could potentially lead to a bigger, deeper, more profound crisis within the country. But protests are not the reason. Protests are a consequence of the government's behavior and its unwillingness to listen to its own people. I'll say what I wrote about yesterday. And for now, you should definitely throw some money into Rusoriz. We gathered quite a bit from the beginning of the conversation, and this is extremely important. I will say what I wrote about yesterday. That in order for any state to survive such a major war, a war when the enemy significantly outnumbers us in terms of forces. Give me a second. Forces, means, and resources. Society and government must act together and united, because otherwise it is simply impossible to survive. If inside the country that is holding the defense under the pressure of such a serious enemy as Russia, there's gonna be no unity within a country that is on the defensive, under pressure from such a serious enemy as the Russian Federation. We will not be able to survive. This is an axiom. This is not an assumption. If we are now busy with internal confrontation, the focus of our attention on the external aggressor will decrease. Our military will be more demoralized. The day before, no, he says yesterday. Yesterday, he says завчора, not позавчора. Yesterday, I saw a huge number of Ukrainian soldiers who were demoralized, and probably this is the first such serious demoralization during the entire time of the full-scale invasion of the Russian so-called Federation. Therefore, what happened is very dangerous, extremely dangerous. And the worst thing is that I still don't see that after the protests, after so many publications, the indignation of citizens, that they even try to hear us. And I'll be honest, it scares me, because I support Ukraine. I want our state to survive, for us to win this extremely difficult war. But if the government doesn't listen to its citizens, then, well, it's impossible to survive. Again, this is an axiom. What will happen next? Next, a group of people's deputies will gather votes to appeal the Constitutional Court to cancel the adopted bill. I consider this option extremely unlikely, since it seems that it will be difficult for our parliamentarians to gather the necessary 45 votes and the quorum in the Constitutional Court only recently appeared, and if one or two judges don't show up for work, don't show up for the hearing, then they won't be able to, they won't have the right to consider this appeal. Therefore, in this situation, the
варіант того, що
option
Конституційний суд
that the Constitutional Court will change anything is extremely unlikely. Only if such a political decision
буде прийняте на
is made at the highest level of power,
разом з тим, друзі.
meaning President Zelensky. It's an addition from me. Sternenko didn't say that. At the same time, friends, given this very difficult, unpleasant, and painful situation for me, I must say that despite everything that is happening, today we must keep our focus on the issue of the Russian-Ukrainian war. Our enemy received a huge gift yesterday, which he could not have obtained even if he had conducted all the informational psychological special operations simultaneously. Our enemy is very hopeful about internal confrontation, internal division, that we will start resorting to some kind of forceful action, etc. For Russians, this will be just a huge gift, and unfortunately this gift, part of this gift was given to Russians yesterday by the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine. And we must understand this. If we don't stand our ground, we won't have NABU, SAPO, SBU, GUR, ZSU, nothing. We will not have a state. There will not be a Ukrainian nation. Most likely, well, on our territory, as it is now, many Ukrainians are gonna be being beaten, tortured, driven into camps, resettled, repressed, and forced into the Russian occupation army in order to continue attacking other countries in Europe. This is what will happen if we don't stand our ground. Therefore, despite the great complexity of this situation, from which I see practically no way out, there is probably no other way out here except for a change in the president's position. Exactly. I totally agree with everything that Sternenko is saying here, and you guys gotta understand that I realize all of this, but we haven't finished listening to him, so let's finish. There's probably no other way out except for a change in the president's position. We must still make maximum efforts now to destroy the enemy. If we save our country, and I say if, because war is very difficult, if we save the country, we will have a chance to establish the rules by which we will live here, without any restrictions or safeguards. If we save the country, we ourselves will decide what rules this country will live. If we by what rules this country will live. If we don't save the country, we won't have any discussions about SAPO, NABU, or anything. We will only have death and occupation here. And this is very important to remember now. At the same time, the government must hear its people, listen to them, and respond to protests. The fact that the protests took place yesterday is a very worrying signal. A wake-up call to the Ukrainian authorities, and the reason to think maybe something is still going wrong. Maybe changes are needed. If Ukraine's top military and political leadership continues to fail to listen to the Ukrainian people, the crisis will escalate. I'm not saying this because I want it. I don't want it. Most of all, I don't want internal confrontation within the country right now. I say this because it is natural and predictable. Because yesterday's reaction of people was natural and predictable. You don't have to be a great strategist to calculate this reaction from civil society. And this is not a case where people will come out 1, 2, or 3 times and then disperse. Maybe it will be so. People will disperse. No one will protest and organize a Maidan now. Because we're at war. I also understand this. I also understand this. Yes, I'm gonna go out today too for the second day. But then we gotta stop, because we're not in a position to start a new Maidan right now. We just cannot afford this. And they are using this against us. The politicians did this exactly right now, because right now we're the hands of the society are tied, because we also understand our responsibility for the future of this country. And if we start another Maidan, then fuck, our future is doom and loss of this war. I gotta thank one person who donated 2 minutes ago. Just one, guys. We still need to raise something today. This stream will end in 15 minutes. Last 15 minutes for you to donate, or we're gonna go away today with like being really far from the goal, and this is gonna be the first time in a long time. Is it really like, is the situation with this bill, with this amendment, really will affect the fundraising, and you guys will be either distracted by this or will lose faith and not donate, and we're not gonna reach the goal? I should not be talking about fundraising for the whole stream for you to be understanding that it's important to donate, right? Please, my friends, please donate. You have the last 14 minutes for that. After that, I gotta run because I need to finish the sign. Here it is, unfinished. It should be a marker here, guys. I need to finish the sign. I need to eat something before I go to the protest. And I'm gonna have to do it really fast, like in 15 minutes. So, please. Let's finish the video. It's very important what Steranko is saying. And then, while I'm doing this, guys, please donate. I really need this. I ask you. So, the person who donated was Arthur M. $7.01 for your active campaign. Thank you very much, Arthur, for your donation. So, guys, so far we raised $177 today and 45 cents. Please, let's still raise those $323, or we're gonna go defeated today without reaching our goal for the first time, I guess. Maybe ever. I'm not sure we ever did this, but my time is limited. Please help me with this. Please. Please, I need you now. But this clearly undermines any trust in the current government, in the minds and perceptions of an extremely large number of people. And this is bad in the context of ongoing, full-scale Russian-Ukrainian aggression. Sorry, Russian aggression. I thought he's gonna say Russian-Ukrainian war. We cannot be united if we have such situations. Lord, why do we have all of this? Just look at this, guys. He's in a very bad mood.
Щодо ситуації на фронті.
This has become a meme today already when he just says, God, for what all of this? For what do we have all of this? And just sitting for like 5 seconds, staring at some point, staring somewhere, and I'm the same. I was the same in the morning. Right now I'm pretty energized, but in the morning I was just sitting, reading all the news in the morning, and you keep trusting President Zelensky, but you are not Ukrainians. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. So, Guys, I had 2 donations. $50 from Andreas Lach. Support for our defenders always comes first. Thank you so much. Kathy S, $30. Dig in deep for me again to show we will not stop donating. Thank you so much. And $50 from Tune Ottoson. Slava Ukraini. Heroям Slava. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, guys. So plus $130. 370.45, guys. Just 193 left to raise today. Please, let's do it. I know that you here care and you trust me and you understand that I'm telling you the truth, no matter how ugly the truth is and no matter how your beloved personalities might be mistaken and they might not appear what you think of them, but we Ukrainians know more than you do. You gotta accept this because we live here, we deal with this shit for decades, and we need to be heard. I'm sick and tired of people telling me that Westerners know more than we Ukrainians. Regarding the situation at the front, Sternenko said after his long pause, the situation at the front is deteriorating. You know that the enemy is advancing in Sumy region, but the situation in Pokrovsk has rapidly deteriorated. Russian sabotage and reconnaissance groups are operating on the outskirts of the city. Unfortunately, there are losses in the security and defense forces in this regard, and we are now increasing the drone deliveries in this direction. We want to provide our army with more means to exterminate all the abomination that is currently in Pokrovsk, and not only in the Pokrovsk direction. Therefore, I urge you to throw some money into Russories. Because the front is the most important thing right now. If we don't have the front, then we won't be able to decide anything in the rear either. Exactly. Amen, Sternenko. So guys, please donate. I really need this. We still need to raise $197 in the next 8 minutes. If we don't do this, we won't reach the goal. And like, on one hand, it's not such a big deal. We can reach it tomorrow because I'm probably also streaming tomorrow. But the problem is, if we do it once, it's super easy to do it twice, 3 times, and that's a decline. And we need to keep the same level of support for the soldiers to not, you understand why. Because if we go into decline, not decline, but decay, how do you call this? When we're gonna provide them with less support, then their lives will be in bigger risk. As for countering the Shaheeds, there are some positive developments. Yesterday I had a conversation with Defense Minister Shmyhal and Digital Transformation Minister Fedorov. I was invited to the meeting as one of the representatives of the largest Ukrainian foundations that provide assistance to the security and defense forces of Ukraine. The state understands priorities and, regarding the Shahid interceptors, the state understands priorities and implements large contracts for the interceptors for martyrs? What? Interceptors of Shaheeds. We also contract including those means that the state cannot purchase for various reasons. There are reasons why some manufacturers, when some manufacturers don't want to enter into government contracts. I understand them to some extent. We can significantly reduce the threat from Russian Shahed drones by the end of the year. This is quite real. However, this will take time for training, for structural work, for scaling up production. Well, it is worth understanding that the enemy will then take more active countermeasures, so it will be a constant struggle. For some time, it will be necessary to constantly modernize interceptors. In short, I won't go into details, but I have positive expectations regarding the counter Shahid initiative by the end of this year. In order to scale the chess, the Rusaris, we are currently purchasing Shahidaris. We're purchasing some of the most effective interceptors. They cost 90,000 hryvnias. And this is one of the lowest prices for the interceptors on the market. So guys, you were asking me how expensive those interceptors are. Sternenko's fund is buying them for 90,000 hryvnias, which is actually, by the current exchange rate, let me tell you how expensive is this. 90,000 divided by 41.6, $2,163. So over $2,000, but less than $2,500. So it's really good price, believe me, because I heard price for a good interceptor on the level of $5,000. It's crazy. Your help is also needed. I am especially addressing the businesses. We can't handle the fees here alone. He says, no, it's not the fees. We can't handle it with fundraisers alone. If businesses representatives are watching me, please go to our website. You can type Sternenko's community in the search. There is a contact section. There is an email for businesses. Contact us, we will be very happy to cooperate, and your contribution can significantly help protect our sky. We guarantee you complete transparency and reporting, including on the use of funds. But returning to the topic of what happened yesterday in the Verkhovna Rada, well, I looked at the reaction of the Russians. The Russians are happy. They pour in billions, will not achieve the same. Result is yesterday. But, you know, they should go fuck themselves. We will figure out here ourselves, without them, how to be and how to live. The main thing, friends, despite the demoralizing events, do not lose hope. Remember what we are fighting for. What our country is fighting for, that we are fighting not to be Russia and not to have anything to do with it. We are fighting to be free, independent, and to determine our own future. This is our main guideline and our priority today, the fight against the enemy. I really hope that our president and the top military and political leadership will demonstrate wisdom and change the situation. But to be honest, I don't really believe that this can happen. At the same time, I also don't believe that this can happen. At the same time, Ukrainians who express their position, including by talking, by walking out on the street, including by holding peaceful protests. It's very important. Doing a very important thing today for our country. Despite all the negativity we have, I am very proud of our people. I am very proud of those who expressed their position online, publicly, or by taking part in a protest. But again, let's not forget that our main enemy today is Russia. If Russia manages to capture and destroy Ukraine, we will have nothing. You see, Sternenko is grateful to everyone who joined the protests, even though he, just like me, understands that the main enemy is Russia, and all of this is very dangerous, but we need not to be silent. You see, guys, we're in a very complicated situation. And what about the poll? Did all of you vote in the poll? 80 people. Can we have 100 by the end of the stream? The stream ends in 1 minute, and we did not reach the goal today, guys. Unfortunately, I must state that we are failing to reach the goal for the first time, and the stream ends without reaching it. But I got one more donation. It's from Sally Luz, $20. It was 2 minutes ago. Rollers, please match me. I'm sorry, this is all I can send until next month. Thank you very much, Sally. Guys, with this, we still need to raise $173. That's how far we were from reaching the goal. But now I need to finish. Let me finish translating the video. Who knows? Maybe when I finish, you guys will send the missing $173. Therefore, friends, we continue to assist the security and defense forces of Ukraine. Be sure to throw it. No, not to throw it. Make sure to throw some money into Rusoriz. I will be honest, I am in an extremely bad mood due to these events, but as long as there are you, dear Ukrainians, as long as there are people who care, and as long as there are people who speak out, who fight and defend their ideals, all is not lost. It will be difficult, it will be bad, it will be unpleasant, but we will get through it. I'm firmly convinced of this. Throw into Rusoriz, my friends. Help Ukrainian army, and glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes. Героям слава. Thank you. Thank you, Sternenko, for this very, very good stream, very inspiring, very enlightening. Guys, tell me if it was enlightening for you, just like it was for me in the morning. Like, it is very sad. He is very sad and demoralized. You can see it in him. You can see it, but he is very grateful to the people that they are not being silent, that they are speaking out, and he spoke out in his video too, in this video too. So guys, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for all the donations. Unfortunately, I must state that for the first time, we are not reaching the goal, and we're $173 away from it, from $500 goal for the stream. But to be honest, the stream was shorter than we usually have them. So if I was here for a bit longer, probably we would raise this sum of money. But I'll take it, I'll take it as just one time, and I'll just be grateful to what we managed to raise. I'll be grateful for what we managed to raise. I'll be grateful to you. I am grateful. Thank you, my friends. You were also on yesterday, Rick. Yeah, I know, Cass. I know. I understand. But, you know what I mean. You know that I'm not like being disappointed or being sad. Just stating what is happening. I'm really not sad or disappointed right now. I'm grateful for what we raised. It's pretty good money in 1.5 hours. Actually, 1 hour and 48 minutes. But anyway, $327.45. Considering that we raised $521 yesterday, it's a pretty good result. So thank you for this, guys. But who knows? Maybe someone will donate after the stream and we reach the goal after all. I'll tell you tomorrow. No worries, guys. Everything is fine. I love you all. I am grateful. I will finish. Stacy, thank you for this. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for supporting me. Wish you would read Zelensky's statement. What statement, Linda? What is happening, Rick? What you talking about, Mopsy's gone? We're not reaching a goal. And that's obviously because we have this shit. Probably some of the Ukrainian supporters... No, actually, I think it's only because I had the stream yesterday and my community is already drained. But you know what? We had that donation, that 9,000 hryvnias donation from Robert Jonasar on the base. So he actually compensated the gap. And 2,000 from Ed Paskevich, more than 2,000. Let me tell you how much was that. Ed Paskevich, 2,150. Wow. So yeah, guys, we're good. We're good. Of course, it was not a PayPal donation. Hey, I actually have $100 From Felipe, Surfer Des, he says, no idea what to write in his comment. Thank you, my friend. So, guys, only $73 away from the goal on PayPal, but it's only on PayPal. There we had 11,150 hryvnias raised. I mean, on the base. So divided by 41.6, $268. So, guys, it's okay. Our base regular donators compensated it for us, so we reached the goal. And yeah, it's just not on the PayPal. It's really good. Thank you for this great result, guys. So please forget about my whining before. I am happy. I am glad. Great stream, Rick. Thanks for the info. There is one more video, guys, that I wanted to translate for you on this stream, but this stream was too short. So I remember the questions in the chat when I was translating Stanenko's video, and one of them was about why Ukrainians are out on the streets. Here it is, guys. We're pissed at our president for signing it, while people were gathering under the presidential office calling him to not sign it. The law threatens our further integration into EU, will negatively impact the international investments in Ukraine. Now, for some offended Western supporters, please come to terms with the fact that people in Ukraine are pro-Ukraine, not pro-Zelensky, not pro-Nabu or SAP, pro-Ukraine. We care about our country, not personalities. We judge actions and job done, not personalities. When our government does its job shitty, it gets called out and criticized no matter who they are. No one is untouchable. No, it is not about being pro someone or anti someone. It's about these someone's actions. And if you can't differentiate actions and personalities, get psychological help and grow up. It's not about Zelensky. Stop saying Zelensky. We don't care about the personalities. If our government, that's how democracy should work. They are the managers. They are not our, personalities that we have a cult of. We simply appointed them to manage the state, and they are doing a bad job right now. I stand with Zelensky on this one. Keep standing with Zelensky. You'll see where it will lead Ukraine in the end. But you have the right. You have the right to do so, and I don't care. I have the right to have my position. You have the right to have yours. And I respect you for this. I respect all of you who don't agree with me. So, guys, this is a Ukrainian on Twitter who is really based. So if you want to read a good Ukrainian on Twitter, here's an account for you, Agent Miller. Another amazing account, the message from whom I read today for you is Maria Kramarenko. I'm going to send the link to both profiles into the chat right now. Danab, Rick, it's not per se a bad thing. They were independent and still there are cases that get swept under the rug. You see, the problem is it affects our one wish of Ukrainians to go to EU. This is why we did not let Yanukovych turn us into Belarus back in 2013 and 14. And this is basically the step away from the European Union. And every European leader will tell you this, and they are telling this to Zelensky. One more donation, $11 from Terence Sauve. Thanks for the coverage and your activism, Rick. Keep asking for accountability. Democracy rules. Thank you so much, Terence. So yeah, no hard feelings here, guys. I give you the right to have your opinions. I just express you the honest opinion of the Ukrainian who sees through bullshit that our government is trying to feed us with. And that's it. Okay, guys, I need to go. Thank you for all that you do for Ukraine. Thank you for not giving up on Ukrainian people. Please keep Ukrainian people as priority, not the Ukrainian government. It's very important because our Ukrainian government unfortunately doesn't do the will of the people sometimes, just like yesterday. Doesn't perform that will, and it should not affect the Ukrainian people. So please keep supporting Ukraine. The most important thing, the Ukrainian army, because those are the most important Ukrainian people, and they should get our support. Live long, prosper, and donate. And Slava Ukraini, guys. I'm gonna make a video from the protest for you today, just like yesterday, but today, it's not possible to stream from there because the mobile network with so many people using it at the same spot is just breaking down. So no chance to stream anything. Love you guys and have a good rest of your day. See you soon.